Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Dropping temperatures and sunshine here in Baton Rouge. Jimmy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Very good. Go Dirty Birds.
We had a what could have been a runaway turn into a really compelling game in the second half.
Yeah.
One that's got a lot of implications, for the Rams obviously trying to involve.
We kind of screwed that up at the end yesterday. It was late, and they were just saying, NBC was like, well, one thing we know is Green Bay's the 7th seed and the Rams are the 6th seed. Well, that's not the case because they control their own destiny for the all-important 5 seed, which matches up with the NFC South winner. You'd obviously rather go to Tampa or Charlotte than Philadelphia.
Yeah, or Chicago. Yeah. Either one.
Yeah.
I agree with that totally. And
they kind of came out flat.
They did.
They were flat, man. It was like, with San Francisco losing that wild game to Chicago, they kind of they looked like they were hanging their heads a little bit, that they were out of contention for the NFC West.
Hangover from the Seahawks game?
That was a Thursday night game.
It was, and I bet against Seattle on Sunday because I thought they might be dragging a little bit, 88 defensive snaps, and they went to Carolina and took care of business.
Well, they had a little extra time.
But both teams had the extra time, and the Rams had even an extra day from that.
Yeah, that mini bye is kind of that's on the rest. When they do these rest evaluations and things like that, it's diminished, but maybe there's no way to tell. Everyone just flat-footed, man, early. I mean, Atlanta is a primetime player. I mean, they beat the Bills by double digits and beat them up pretty good in that game. And that's the thing. Their offense, we know they have capabilities, but their defense in both of those games, last night and also the Buffalo game, came to play. Were much better than it usually is.
The pass rush they invested in the pass rush, and it's gotten a lot better.
I mean, 4th and short, boom, stuffed. I mean, defensive score. I mean, multiple interceptions against the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. I mean, no,
he made some throws last night you don't expect out of him.
How about the play, which it's fashionable to just kick the officials. And a lot of times, okay, it's warranted. But you trying to make that call or make that there's no way to make that call in real time on a Nakua catch. There's no way. And how about Terrell, who's actually pulls his arm away to kind of separate it from the ball because the ball doesn't rotate. He stabs it, pulls it in, and even as it leaves, it still doesn't rotate. I mean, it would have been – I know that you got to go gloves and no gloves as far as the eras of great catches because those gloves are like Velcro. But damn it. I mean, we had to look at 5 angles saying, oh, no, it's separated from the ball.
He
does not have contact. And Terrell was the one in real – if you're standing on the sideline, that thing is going so fast, 40 yards downfield. It's just kind of a tribute how good these guys are, man.
I agree. Now they did miss one at the end of the game.
The long interference would have been at like the 15, 20-yard line.
And I understand why they don't want to make that call. You don't want to bail a team out like that on a ticky-tack call, but this one he's got him hooked. I mean, he is clearly impeding.
How many times do you see that call in that spot?
At that time of the game, almost
rarely.
Never. Almost never.
Rarely. You're gonna let them. What do we say all the time? Let the players decide the play.
And I would rather do that. But
and because it's a 50-yard penalty, it's not a 5 yards. automatic
it's a game-changing penalty. They're going to have a shot at the end zone, and at worst, a field goal to send it to overtime.
Yeah.
So it's a game-changing call. So I didn't have any problem. I get why they didn't make the call, but by the letter of the law.
I hate to say it, too. Guess what the letter of the law is, too? Oh, that's taunting on the block, scoop, and score.
Oh, yeah, when he waved to the sideline?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay,
it
well,
is.
but do you want him to call that?
I don't.
No, I don't
really,
either.
I don't.
You know,
I
so
don't.
I understand it could have been called. Technically, it is. I want him. I'm sorry.
No, I'm going to let that
There's
go.
a fine line. He's also right next to him 40 yards downfield to be able to make a play like that. So it's the fine line between good coverage and interference. And the rule, that's why it should be 15. Because it is, and you got to call that there, but you don't want to decide the game.
No. The college.
At 50
this
yards.
is one situation where I think the college rule is better.
It's better.
And Verse, who we watched against LSU, and I thought was a really good player, has been even better than I expected him to be at the next level.
If you see him and he shows promise because of his modest path, Albany.
Yeah.
This is where the transfer portal and the no limitations for transferring. This is where it helps out. This guy deserves it, and he ain't taking anything for granted. So when you draft him and he looks good on tape, you ain't got to worry about him taking his foot off the gas.
No.
I mean, Albany to All Pro. Ain't many of those, Joe.
Guy's a fantastic player, but the most fantastic player on the field last night was Bijan Robinson. I could give you the stats. He had well over 200 yards of total offense, but he makes a game-changing play. Matthew Stafford throws a deep interception. It was a first down interception, but you're in the 2-minute drill there, and the Falcons get the ball back on their own 7-yard line with 1:28 to play. So I know you don't have the numbers in front of you. I'm asking you to just give me a best guess. What are their chances? They get the ball at their own 7-yard line, 1:28 to go. What are their I think they had 2 timeouts. What are your chances of scoring a touchdown on that drive?
1%.
I would have put a little bit higher than that. I would have said maybe 10%, but okay.
Because you're just trying to get out because field position dictates your aggression. You're just trying to get out of there. I mean,
your chances of scoring even a field goal at that point.
Not 5. Okay, I'll say that.
Yeah. Your chances of kicking a field goal in that situation.
Better.
15, 20%.
You get a call downfield that, okay, or you break a play, you break a safe play, and then, okay, you're much higher. With the kickers today, 20, 25%.
So they broke the safe play. The safe play was to 7, and he took it 93 yards.
Well,
that's a game-changing play in the NFL that there's just a handful of guys that are capable of making.
Did you see Drake London's blocking?
Yes, I did. Yeah, and that obviously was
the
difference between 40 yards and 93 yards.
I think the safety gets him for about 8 to 10.
Okay.
I mean, because he blocks his guy and then seals just the safety. Well, the safety's there in the position, but London. I mean, and it happened so quick. It was a real good job by ESPN, but I think it was Aikman that pointed that out. By the way, who's very, very good and to me has clearly emerged as my favorite, my most respected color analyst in the game.
Mm-hmm. Robinson has maybe caused me to rethink. It's something we're going to talk about in the second segment today about where the Saints might look at this position down the road. But in the meantime, the other thing that was on the line last night that we talked about a little bit yesterday is how this game might affect the Saints. And it affects them in 2 ways. Number one, the Falcons, had they lost last night, would have had the same record as New Orleans. So it's draft position. But even more importantly, it is for the 4th place schedule next year. And we're going to touch on this a little bit more in first class, second class, no class. But the Saints and the Falcons, the Saints could end up winning this game on Sunday and still get the 4th place schedule next year.
They can?
Yeah, they can.
Okay.
It's very close. The opponent's winning percentage is a tiebreak, and it's 493 to 496.
So they would split. But they have the same division record too.
If
the Saints win,
it's the opponent's strength of schedule is the tiebreaker.
It's not your division.
Not for the draft. It's the opponent's strength of schedule.
What you talk about the draft? We talk
I'm
about
talking about for the schedule. Yeah,
Okay,
it's for the schedule. It's opponent's. It's opponent's strength of schedule, and it's very, very close.
All right, Charlie. It's a holiday season. I know you get into it. So go ahead.
I'm very excited to be a Saints fan again. Like to root for. No,
Here we go.
To root for. I've been rooting for bad things for the last 3 years, so that things could change, and now, well, things have changed, and so it's exciting to have some skin in the game.
A high water mark right now since when?
Breeze retired.
Yeah,
since Breeze retired.
The next year we thought we had a chance.
We did. We found out
had
pretty.
A chance.
And they were 5-2.
You beat Tampa Bay pretty bad at home. And
they were 5-2 when Jameis got hurt.
Yeah,
and that was when everything kind of fell.
I would
apart.
say to that point,
and hadn't been the same since then.
Right.
So we get a little bit of a reprieve there. Anyway, this game, the Falcons, I thought, were ready to put it away. 37-yard field goal. And that would have put them up 3 scores, under a minute to go in the third quarter. Instead, Verse gets the block, scoop and score. Rams are right back in it. We had a really exciting fourth quarter. But the Dirty Birds win it, and that turns out to be pretty good for New Orleans. So happy about that.
Also, with our Tyler Shuck Rookie of the Year bets, what it does do is 2 things. There's some good and some bad, and I think the good outweighs the bad a little bit. Because you come away with a little different level of respect for Atlanta in that building. That makes that win, if he does win, more impactful.
Yes.
The
recency bias of watching them beat the Rams,
yes.
and then you go in there and beat them. Yes.
Who is not talking about the Ram, the Falcons and everything? I mean, they've beaten the Bills and the Rams on Monday night. In that building, and that's where the Saints are going to play.
Yep.
Okay, and Bijan Robinson with the Buffalo and Rams Monday night games, total yards 467 and 3 TDs. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, offensive player of the year is one thing that's a biggest difference, and that is he's not playing for a winning team. And Aikman, that was a theme of his commentary last night as he talked about, man, I just wish he could play in some playoff games. I wish people could see him more, to the point where you forgot he even played an earlier Monday night game where he did the broadcast against Buffalo. They won 24-14 in that game, and he had a long touchdown in that one. But it's just, whether it's fair or unfair, whatever, Saints go in there and beat the team that just kind of, it shouldn't have been a close. It shouldn't mean the block, scoop, and score. I mean, you go from a 3-score game to a 1-score game. If he makes a field goal. And, I mean, the kicker is pretty good. So it's just I think that. Now, the other thing, if you're hedging, it's worse because it pushed the line to 3. And if you're going to bet the Falcons as a hedge, and you don't know, it's tricky. You have to see the result. If T-Mac has a big game in a win for Carolina, that's going to help his case. If Ibuka has a monster game in a win, that helps his case. So you at least get to see that result before, if you do want to hedge on Monday, which Buddy Max has a 250-1 ticket. So
on Chuck,
you have to explore.
Chuck to win the offensive.
I took it. Remember, we were at Bally's a couple Sundays ago, and I said I just think it's their possibility of winning 3 in a row. If you look at the money line, they're favored against the Jets. They're going to be favored against the Titans, and they're going to be a slight underdog. It's going to be roughly 6-1. That was generous. It's less. You're looking at 16-1. So I took it at that point.
On Chuck.
Instead of a real-time rollover money line parlay.
Did last night's game sink completely Matthew Stafford's chances to win the MVP?
Maybe, but I don't think completely. You still have to – I think it's an overreaction. It got to as much as plus 450 last night. It's down to plus 300. So there was an overreaction, and it was a buyback point. May is clearly the guy. I do think that Stafford's numbers are still better. They're better. He has played a tougher competition. I mean, it's just that's the records of their opponents is clearly better than theirs, and the lifetime achievement. I mean, means something. Stafford didn't he kind of finish off a possible? Didn't he kind of push it. You know, if you were to decide whether or not this guy was having an Hall of Fame career, didn't he kind of push you over the top this year?
You're asking the wrong guy because I had him in the Hall of Fame before.
Okay,
this.
well, but
yes, if I was on the fence, then yes, I would.
I mean, he's never made All-Pro. First or second team. I'm sorry. Well, you got to be your best in your league at some point.
Drew Brees.
Well, he's the best in the league now.
Okay, but Drew Brees is going in. He had one All-Pro, first team All-Pro.
No, but he had some second teams.
He had 4 second
Oh,
teams.
yeah, well, that's a lot, Charlie.
It is.
That's a lot.
And,
that's top
and he's going to walk into the Hall of Fame.
And he should.
Stafford played they played the Cardinals in week 18. 3 weeks ago, they played the Cardinals. Stafford threw for 281, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. They won the game 45-17. If he puts up a line that is the game this week is in SoFi, if he puts up numbers similar to that,
they have to see the result. He might sit. If San Francisco wins, he'll sit because they're the 6.
Yeah.
So and they'll play Jimmy Garoppolo.
You talk about we've been talking about this from the Rams standpoint of you don't want to play, you want to face Carolina instead of Chicago or Philly. What about Chicago and Philly? You think they want to see the Rams coming in the first week?
Hell no.
No.
That was the only team that played with Philly last year.
The Rams are 3 plays away from being the 1 seed?
Yeah.
3 or 4 plays away from being the 1 seed. So
yeah,
it works both ways.
Yes, indeed. We're live here at Mike Anderson's. Open again, business as usual, but we do remind we will be open for tomorrow for New Year's Eve, lunch only. Lunch only, so giving the staff off to celebrate New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, it's business as usual. So just for close for dinner on New Year's Eve tomorrow night over here at Mike Anderson's. A lot of people coming in town. You got relatives coming in town, and they want to eat some South Louisiana cuisine. This is a place you can do it. When Randy McKay was in town, brought him over here, got him some seafood gumbo, got him a little crawfish etouffee, got him some oysters, both on the half shell and on the char grill, and the char grilled oysters over here. And used to be a time when not a whole lot of people were doing char grilled oysters. Anybody was doing char grilled oysters in Baton Rouge, and well, they do them over here. The big chunks of fresh garlic, which to me it puts it over the top. So. Man, it's a really good stuff over here. So you got family from out of town looking to treat them. They love it, man. Get a little bit of everything. And one of the specials for lunch, too, is the Bayou plate. The Cajun plate, it has a little bit of fried catfish fillet, fried shrimp, a little cup of seafood gumbo, a little cup of etouffee, a little bit of your salad of choice. It's just really good stuff. A little sampler type of tray to sample different South Louisiana seafood cuisine at Mike Anderson's on Lee, just off of Nicholson.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Still our podcast. Until we get into transfer portal, our podcast on the Lane Kiffin Offense up on YouTube. They are all brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s in Southwest Louisiana. For more information, go to SupremeRice.com.
Yes,
so watching last night's game and watching Bijan Robinson, I think you and I both have the same theory on drafting running backs, which is you're not using a high pick on a running back very often. That used to be a common thing, but last 15 years or so, not so much. But watching what Robinson means to the Falcons, I started thinking about Jeremiah Love since I can now root for the Saints to win again, and the Saints having a pick that at the moment is number 8 in the draft, which is right about where Jeremiah Love is predicted to go, and is exactly where Bijan Robinson went in his draft. Some comparable stats here. Both of these backs are 20. Love will be 20 years old when he is drafted. Robinson was 20 years old when he was drafted, meaning that Bijan Robinson with 3 years in the NFL is still only 23 years old. Robinson is listed at 5'11", 215. Love listed at 6', 214. They are the same size. Robinson ran a 4.4 and change at the combine, 4.46, which is slow track.
No, not on that. Not on that track.
It was a slow track.
Yeah, on that track.
He's not slow.
Right,
no.
right.
The slow track.
Yeah.
Love has been electronically timed at sub 4.4. So let's just say.
Let me see him on that track.
Yeah, probably the same thing on that track, or something close
that
to
might
it.
translate to very close.
Yeah.
But and look, and what about running style?
Running style, I think, from what I've seen, is somewhat similar. Loved. The one thing Robinson does better than anybody that I think in the game right now is he can change directions. He can stick his foot in the ground and change directions and explode better than anybody, I think, in the game right now. But Love, I think, at the college game does a phenomenal job of that. Let me give you Robinson's numbers. He rushed for 3,400 yards, 6.3 a carry at Texas. That's 3 years in the Big 12. He caught 60 passes for 800 yards. Love, in his time at Notre Dame, they played about close to, well, Love ended up playing 10 more games than Robinson. He rushed for 6.7 yards a carry, 2,800 yards. So Robinson was better running the football from a total yards standpoint, but Love was a little bit better on yards per carry. Receiving yards are very similar. Love caught 63 balls at Notre Dame. Robinson caught 60 balls at Texas. So my question is, even though we usually think running backs late, if you invest some free agent dollars on the interior of the offensive line for the Saints, is Jeremiah Love the best amount of help that you can give Tyler Shuck next year?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean,
make your case against.
This is first of all, the comparisons, and okay, there's a lot, but Jeremiah Love would have to max out, would have to equal what Bijan is doing right now.
I agree.
Okay,
Robinson is better.
When Bijan was
stats aside, I think Robinson is better.
When Bijan was coming out, well, I mean, I'm not saying Love can't be this level.
Yeah, but he's got to be.
He's got to max
top.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean. And the other thing is, let's pump the brakes as far as can we win a game against a winning team? Before we're ready to schedule the Super Bowl parade. Can they have a winning season? Can they get to a playoff game? There's a long way to go in this way. And keep in mind, we sit here and wonder who's trying and who's not, who's tanking and who's not. The one thing you don't have to worry about, the Saints are all in which can be a little garbage time this time of the season.
Sure.
And the other thing is their roster is far, far away from the last piece of the puzzle. And it is the most instinctful position in football. From jumping from it's not uncommon to see a freshman running back, boom, hit the ground running. It's not uncommon for a rookie running back, boom, to hit the ground running. It is the most instinctful position and the natural position and the easiest to. That's why it's your last piece. And then also you can get a third round back who's really good. And then you can also spend a high pick on a running back when you don't have the rest of the pieces, like the Giants. How was Saquon there?
Not very good. Well, he was good, but the team wasn't.
Okay, well, he didn't do crap there.
Most.
He didn't do anything. He did very little there. When he got a better supporting cast,
I wouldn't say he didn't do crap there. I would say he was.
You think he had a little spike? You think he had a little spike when he
was
went
better
to
with the Eagles?
Okay,
of course. But let's not say he was a bust in New York.
How many games did he help them win?
They made the playoffs at least one of those years.
They won one playoff game. They won one playoff. You're wasting him. Is my point.
Okay.
They didn't waste him when he was the last. Was he the last piece of the puzzle to the Eagles?
He was not.
To the Eagles.
To the Eagles, yes, he was.
And how did it go?
Yeah, they won the Super Bowl.
And more yards of freaking scrimmage than anybody. Won the Super Bowl, the whole thing. He dictated how defenses played.
Okay.
You're either going to play me straight up. And do you think Ashton Genty's a bad back?
No, I think Ashton Genty's a very good back.
I do too.
Yeah.
And he's being wasted.
They've gotten a little bit more out of him since they changed OCs, but yes.
He's being wasted.
Right.
They're far from the last piece of the puzzle. So that's why. The comparison, fine.
Yeah.
But that's not the best route. You had a long way. No, I can't beat the Jets, who just lost their fourth straight game by 23 points or more. It's a record. Okay? The Titans. I can't. I mean, it's just nice. Shuck, you got your guy. Okay, and he's making plays from the pocket. He is growing. You see he is expanding every week. He's doing a little something different, is also helping you win games in the process. I mean, you got your guy there, and there's some. I mean, Moore has kept the locker room together. I mean, but you are far away, Charlie, from the last piece of the puzzle.
And I agree that it's not the last piece of the puzzle. And there are probably safer players. They could take an offensive lineman there and solve that problem. They could take another wide receiver and solve that problem. Here's my argument for. Without going all in on this thing, Bijan Robinson was the difference in that game last night. He's been the difference in probably 3 or 4 of the Falcons' wins. I think when you draft a running back at 20, you can realistically expect, anybody can get hurt, but you can realistically expect 6 prime years out of him. That shucks rookie contract window and a little bit, okay? Now, you got to get a little bit lucky and avoid some injuries, but I think you can reasonably say you can get 5 to 6 years out of him. So it's not just a one-year deal. The Saints, even with this roster as depleted as it is, are right there in the hunt. And if Jeremiah Love was the difference in even 2 games next year.
We're right in the hunt. Right in the hunt.
They're going to finish, if they win Sunday, they're going to finish potentially 1 game out of the division lead.
Okay, but
what's
the likelihood of making a run out of that division? Come on.
No, to the Super Bowl, not yet. But
well, I mean, but because the division's so bad, that's going to alter your approach.
I think he makes everything easier for Shuck. I think he makes.
He's a good player.
Yeah,
but he is.
But you're saying it should be the last piece, and ordinarily I agree with you. Okay, in this case, I got a rookie quarterback that I trust. I've got some other pieces. This might be one big piece.
You are.
This might advance me a lot.
Classic case of being a prisoner of the moment. Yesterday, 24 hours ago.
24 hours.
You did not bring this up.
No,
you did not.
I didn't.
You watched Bijan go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Bijan, he's had good games on Sundays too. But Monday night,
something I've been thinking about. We haven't had a lot. We're not in NFL draft season yet. Something I've been thinking about.
He's a very good player, but
I'm not married to the idea yet. I'm still getting used to the idea that I can root for the Saints to win again. So cut me a little bit of slack here. Just something I'm thinking about.
You know what?
Not
in
going
the
all
spirit
in
of the holiday season, I will grant you that, sir.
Thank you.
As we sit in front of the
Santa
the poinsettias. You know me, Charlie. I cheer for spirit. I cheer for love. Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all of you real estate closings. 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great team at Legacy Title, Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Marion Haynes, Natalie, and Bradford Smith. Want to wish you and yours happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Our friends over at Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title, 296.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Isco.
Andy, how was your Christmas, buddy?
Christmas was nice and relaxing. Got to watch a lot of football, eat a lot of food, get a lot of rest, and get sort of amped up for some of the bowl games or playoff games that really count after some of the really tough-to-watch minor bowls.
We're going to the last week of the season, and it's kind of all or nothing, but we did see another trend, and it's opposite what a lot of people may believe. And that is the, teams playing for something versus teams that are out of contention. Their season is over. It is baked into the line. You are getting value if you're taking the team that's, quote, unquote, not playing for anything. But entering this past week, 61% ATS. It's a high percentage. And this past week, and it finished off last night, 5-1. Minnesota, not playing for anything. Won and covered against Detroit. Kansas City, out of it. They covered against Denver. Miami, covered and won outright against Tampa Bay. Cleveland, won and covered outright against Pittsburgh. Atlanta against the Rams last night. The only one to cover, and it wasn't close, and that's New England. Just put it on the Jets where they had something to play for. Your thoughts on that trend?
I don't really consider it a trend because, of all the games that I thought there was a wacky line, it was the Denver at Kansas City. Simply because Denver's not a team that blows teams away on the road, and Kansas City, they still have a pretty good roster even without Mahomes, etc. I thought that was the one line that was a little bit ridiculous. The other lines made sense. The Patriots Remember, Patriots are favored by 13.5 because the Jets aren't playing for anything. And, they've just been playing spectacular football all year. But keep in mind that, and, you take a look at a game like the Raiders and the Giants. Neither team's playing for anything. The Giants came to play. The Raiders did not. How do you handicap a game like that? Because keep in mind that a lot of these players on teams that are nothing to play for as far as playoff chances go, they're playing for individual incentives, a $500,000 bonus for this, for receiving yards or this. So those guys are going to go out and try and at least achieve, they want to win the game. And if you go out and you don't play hard, you're risking injury. Team players do not tank. You talk about tanking, it's the decisions by the general manager or the coach in conjunction with each other. What plays are we going to call? What personnel are we going to have? Let's give ourselves not the best chance to execute. Let's give our chance to, our team a lesser chance to execute, and quote unquote. Hopefully, we lose the game and improve our draft position. But I've never felt that players go out there deliberately to tank because they risk injuries and because they're playing for incentives. And it's just not the mentality as well. That doesn't mean that teams don't sometimes show up for whatever reason, letdown spots, etc., exhaustion, nagging injuries. But the tanking phenomenon, I think, is a little bit overrated, and I think that, or at least, let's say, it's misunderstood how it's used.
Yeah, I mean, you see it, and they had the two linemen with Bijan Robinson on with Scott Van Pelt after, and they kind of, he looked at Van Pelt, the lineman, when he told him, well, you're not playing for anything. I'm like, oh, what? Like he had two heads. I mean, what are you talking about? We're not playing for that. This is our job. I mean, we're playing for film. We're playing. I mean, come on. I mean, the NFL stands for not for long. We want to try and extend his career for as long as we can. How much attention do you pay to the awards markets for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year? And we got an update on Tyler Shuck for Rookie of the Year. That's not good for him. But how much do you pay attention to that?
I really don't, because it's such a subjective award, and you can make cases for 5 or 6 guys that are deserving. I mean, right now, I think that if you had to take a look at it, given the recent performances and the season-long performances, I'd have to say Drake May should be the favorite, based upon what he's done this year for this team. Now, keep in mind, of course, the quality of competition that the Patriots have faced. I wasn't the best, but you still have to go out there and, do what the best you can do. And keep in mind, the Patriots were not expected to be one of the lousy teams this year. Their season win total, I believe, was 8.5. So they were considered to basically be a borderline wild card contender. Well, they certainly exceeded that. And the recent play of Stafford, he's still going to be up there, and I don't know how the voters will go. There'll be some voters who will say, well, we can't vote for a kid who's in his second year. We'll give it to the old veteran who's having a great season towards the end of his career. So I don't get involved in those types of awards because they're so subjective and they're based on votes rather than performance. They're based on interpretation of results.
Gotcha. Here's the update. Tyler Shuck, who was basically like plus 120, 125, both he and McMillan. McMillan has emerged as a significant favorite. This is our friends, the Queen and Bally's DraftKings outlet. McMillan is now minus 220. Shuck is going from like plus 120 to plus 425.
Since
this is what, Rookie of the Year?
Yesterday.
Based
on
what, though?
Here's part of it is that Shuck will be making his 9th start. Now, he's taking over a 1-7 team. If they beat Atlanta, he'll be 6-3. Okay. That's a hell of an accomplishment. He's playing well. He's putting up numbers. There's no doubt about that. No wins against teams with winning records. But here's the one, Charlie. No quarterback has won this award with less than 13 starts.
And if they want to say,
but you don't have a whole lot of candidates,
right?
You know what McMillan did Sunday?
One catch, right?
One catch for 5 yards, and it was a 4th and 17 dump off. And with the 2 minutes to go in the game.
If you want to say he hasn't played enough games, okay. I mean, that's a reasonable reason to do it. But that wasn't the case on Sunday. If you liked him on Sunday and you don't like him on Tuesday, I don't quite get that. If you want to say overall, I mean, hell, Cam Ward's going to put up probably double the amount of yards for the whole season. But we asked yesterday, who would you rather have right now, Shuck or Ward? Well, some people would rather have Ward. I'd rather have Shuck. I'm a little bit biased. if you want to do it on a full
Yeah.
season basis, okay.
Yeah, it is surprising. So I just wanted to pass that along. So that is there you have that going on right now as well. Andy, any games that you're identifying, the ones that are they're playing for with obvious circumstances, or maybe a little value on some that you don't think is certainly one thing we saw yesterday. And Jim Harbaugh is not going to pull a Brandon Staley, and he's not going to Denver in Game 17 and going to get key players hurt in a meaningless game like Staley did before they made that trip to Jacksonville. Forget the wide receiver's name from Clemson, Williams, that he got hurt for that game. It was already hurt going into that one. So we'll probably see Trey Lance in that game. It means a lot to Denver, but the Chargers are already banged up, and they don't want to risk any more injury. So that's probably going to be a layup. And that line shot up yesterday. But any other matchups in this week's card?
Yeah, Week 18 is always a little bit difficult. Of course, you've got the games between Carolina and Tampa, and then it may really come down to what Atlanta does against the Saints as far as determining that division champ. I'm not sure I could play either way there. Obviously, Carolina's been playing the much better football over the last, almost 2 months now than has Tampa Bay, so it's hard to really feel comfortable backing Tampa Bay, although they still could get in there. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Huntley, he's played very well for the Ravens in most of his starts there. And, Pittsburgh, look, they obviously missed Metcalf last week in a game that would have made this week's game meaningless. And he's going to be out again. So kind of like Baltimore in that game. The other one that, Seattle and San Francisco, I'm a little bit surprised that Seattle is a small 1.5 point favorite on the road. They did play each other earlier. I believe it was a 4-point game, but it was also in week 1 of the season. And, that's a little bit, things have changed right now. I think both teams were expected to do well, but I think the 49ers were given the greater expectations. But people forget that Seattle had 10 wins last year, but missed out on a wild card. So it's not as though this is a tremendous surprise that Seattle has been playing as well as they have. I don't think anyone expected them to have this record. So I kind of like the 49ers in this spot. I mean, they've had those defensive injuries all year. And, people may take a look at the game against Chicago and say, wow, look at that defense. They gave up 38 points. They couldn't stop them at all. It's one of those games that happens when both teams march up and down the field. 49ers and Seahawks know each other very well. 49ers have overcome so many injuries, not just on defense, but on offense as well. Purdy missed some time. Kittle's missed some time. McCaffrey, I don't remember if he missed any time. If it wasn't very much. But they managed to win despite all those injuries, and I think that gives this team a lot of confidence. And I would not be surprised if they win a game or two in the playoffs.
All right. Any bowl games in the quarterfinal action that you have any action on, Andy?
I took Miami plus 10 against Ohio State. Indiana showed something about slowing down Ohio State. Maybe Miami can do something with that. Miami's a very good team. Yeah, the SEC and everything, but everything. They did beat Notre Dame in the first game of the season. That was a controversial game we've talked about before because I felt Notre Dame should be in there, not over Miami, but over Alabama. Although Miami, again, had that FCS game that counted for a lot of their, or a significant part of their stats. I'm sorry that Oregon and Texas Tech are playing each other because I like both teams. And if you remember, before the season started, Texas Tech was a very sharp futures play amongst a lot of really solid handicappers and the followers of college football. I think a number of people had them at 40-1. And so far, they've gotten exactly where they're at. They're slight underdogs in this game, so I do like Texas Tech in that one. I do like Ole Miss against Georgia. The thing that impressed me about Ole Miss is the way they came out and took care of business against Tulane, a team that they could have overlooked because of how they beat them early in the season and overlooked because of the coaching situation with Lane Kiffin. They came out, they took care of business, and I think this team is motivated to show that they can go pretty far, if not all the way, and they have the talent to do so. They displayed that during the regular season, so I think that line's a bit too high. Wouldn't be shocked by the outright upset by Ole Miss, but I do expect a competitive game where they can hang in there. I mean, what were they up? They were up, I think, 26, 35. All I remember is that I think the guy scored like 17-0 in the fourth quarter at Georgia in the game that they ultimately lost. And Indiana, Alabama. the situation says Alabama, but you take a look at the point spread, you take a look at how these teams have done. Not sure that I'm going to do anything in this game, but I just can't feel that comfortable with Alabama. Can I trust Indiana? Well, they've proven it a few times, both last year and this year. The one game that I also think would be a nice under game would be that Miami-Ohio State game.
Follow Andy on Twitter at VegasAndy711. He's with us every Sunday on Football Sunday. This Sunday, it originates from Bally's Bally's New Casino, the DraftKings Sportsbook, downtown at the Atrium here in Baton Rouge. Andy, good luck to you, buddy. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all the guys, all the listeners. Take care. We'll speak Sunday.
There you go. Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive on Segan Lane, 8445 Segan Lane at Perkins, right across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery. Our the check engine light comes on. We're not, mechanics. We don't know. Bring it in. We'll see what we can do. Jason Payne, he's busy now, and if you come in and they're too busy to come in to service your vehicle at that spot, he'll reschedule you a time where it's more convenient for you and for them as well. Belts and hoses, general services, undercar services, AC repair, electrical, tires, brakes, oil change, you name it. It's the only place I take my vehicle. It's K&M Automotive, 8445 Segan Lane, Segan near Perkins, right across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
30 years ago, Jimmy, the LSU Tigers took on Michigan State in the Independence Bowl. Independence Bowl today, going at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. And Eddie Kinnison back-to-back.
Jerry Donardo's first year, Nick Saban's first year at Michigan State. And a chilly night in Shreveport.
Yes.
And, boy, I tell you what, the excitement. I don't think it'll ever happen again, but the excitement level at LSU had gone 6 straight years without going to a bowl game. And back then, going to any bowl game made a really big difference.
Two quarterbacks in that game?
Herb Tyler and Tony Banks.
Yes.
Yeah. Kevin Falk was that was the year the freshman class, Todd McClure, Kevin Falk, and Booger McFarland, all long NFL careers, were all LSU freshmen that year.
Yeah, that was Booger was a big deal. I mean, Notre Dame wasn't Notre Dame, but Jamie Spencer was also in that class, wasn't he? The big running back for Wichita.
Yeah.
He went to Notre Dame?
Jamie
He did go to Notre Dame.
And there was who was the kid that went to Michigan, the running back from North Louisiana?
From whence? Anthony Thomas?
Anthony Thomas, thank you. Was another big one out of Louisiana.
A-Train.
Right about the A-Train, and he was a terrific back. But
Winsboro?
Winsboro, that's right. That's right.
The back-to-back, were they back-to-back? Like they returned one and then Kennison returned?
Yes, they were back-to-back.
And Bashir Muhammad, and it was, who was the other receiver?
Oh, not Andre Rison, was it?
No.
Rison was after that. I gotta think for a second.
So we're doing a podcast yesterday.
Plaxico Burress?
He wasn't here yet. But Paul Stone was he's in Texas. Me and Max are in Baton Rouge, and we're complaining about how cold it is. And the other producer says, "Well, I'm right in between Buffalo and Toronto." I'm like, "Oh, well, shut up now."
Hour number 2 at Mike Anderson's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch. First class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And return here at Mike Anderson's. Call by and see us for lunch right here in the Oyster Bar as soon as you walk into the restaurant. Take a right, come on in, grab you some oysters, grab you some lunch. Certainly enjoy seeing you here when we're at Mike Anderson's. All right, first class. By the way, one of the funniest things, I hadn't seen this before. Did you see Derrick Henry on the sidelines after the game on Saturday night against Green Bay. He had a hat with a cheese grater on the top because he had torched. You know how they do the cheese heads for Green Bay? He had a cheese.
Okay,
I had to look for a second. I was like, "What is that silver-looking thing on his hat?" Oh, it's a cheese grater. I thought that was funny. Anyway,
I saw him on the sidelines the game before too.
yeah, but the game was still being played. I think John Harbaugh probably rethought that one a little bit.
Real quick, the odds makers from the Westgate in Las Vegas, they said, now you can buy into where Lamar Jackson, is he hurt, is he not, is he off, whatever. But his play this year, they have no line value adjustment to Hundley playing. The way Hundley is playing and the way Jackson is playing, there's no.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Hundley's a vet. I mean, he's played a lot of football.
He played really good Saturday.
Yeah, he did. It was a lot of short stuff, but he runs the offense.
If they announce Lamar Jackson, you might get some of the betting public that has more confidence in the Ravens.
But the books themselves won't move it.
That's where that's Hundley's play, and I can't argue.
We gave you all of the superlatives for Tyler Shuck yesterday, but obviously he would be in first class this week. So I want to take a bit. They announced the finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They'll vote on this the weekend of the Super Bowl, and there's two absolute slam dunks, no question asked, and one of them, of course, is Drew Brees. The other one is Larry Fitzgerald. They'll put between up to 5 of the finalists that are in there. After that, it gets a little bit tricky. You've got Jason Witten, who's got the second most catches and yards of any tight end in the history of the NFL. Frank Gore, who has the third most rushing yards in the history of the NFL, which is mind-boggling as long as Gore stayed in the league. You got some other favorites like Eli Manning, Reggie Wayne, Terrell Suggs. Former St. Jari Evans made it to the finals, along with Darren Woodson, Marshall Yanda. And then the holdovers from last year, the finalists, Willie Anderson, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri. We know that Brees and Fitzgerald are going to get in. The other three, Jimmy, I think this is hard. If you had to vote for 3 more of these guys, who do you pick, man? Because I think Jason Witten is absolutely a Hall of Famer. He's a first-year guy. Maybe he doesn't get it on the first time, but absolutely a Hall of Famer to me. Luke Kuechly is absolutely a Hall of Famer to me. Terrell Suggs is absolutely a Hall of Famer to me. So is Reggie Wayne. So is Marshall Yanda. And I think Eli Manning is going to get in at some point, and I love Torrey Holt. This would be a very difficult vote for me. If after those two I had to vote for 3 more. If you had to vote for, I just gave you the finalist field. None of these guys are obscure. Who would you pick if you had to vote for 3 more?
I think Holt's going to get in at this point. I think that I don't think Witten's getting in first time. I think that Brees and Fitzgerald will be will cover that. I think some people that just some of the voters it just make you they're a little reluctant to let the borderline guys get in, and I can tell you it's come up before, and there's a lot of counterpoint when it comes to Eli Manning. Two of the greatest runs in the playoffs. Before that, 500 quarterback. Outside of that, and so, and only went to one other playoff appearance in all of his other seasons. I think that's right. So, it's just.
I would put Eli Manning in.
He's going to get in. He ain't getting in his first time.
Well, he's already on multiple times now, so he didn't get in on his first time.
Oh, wait, it's not his first time.
This is not his first time.
No. What year is this for him?
This is 3.
Oh, this is 3?
This is 3 for him. So.
Maybe. He's going to get in. He's going to get in. It's a very, Charlie, because, how many guys get in because they compiled, just career stats and career accomplishments. And he's had 2 great runs and 2 beyond Hall of Fame runs in a very mediocre career besides that.
Well, if you're talking about counting stats, the counting stats are there as well for him. He's still in the top, I think it's 12 in passing yards and touchdowns. He's in the top 15, I believe. So, from a passing yards.
Attempts are also, those correlate with the attempts. I mean, guys who throw more, guys who play more longer are going to get more.
He's 11th in total yards. He's ahead of, a lot of, not just Hall of Famers, but, some of the all-time greats. I mean, he threw for more yards than John Elway or Warren Moon.
Okay.
So, and then you put the two.
Moon played 8 years in Edmonton. I mean,
well, Elway played for 16 years in the NFL.
We're not comparing him to Elway.
He's not better than Elway.
No, that's not.
But when you put the counting stats,
you put the
counting stats with the 2 Super Bowls, I think he gets in. If it were, I would vote for Terrell Suggs for sure.
He's going to get in
this year. We went through this when we were talking about Cam Jordan. He's got the most sacks of anybody that's not in the Hall of Fame. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He won a Defensive Player of the Year award, 8-time Pro Bowler, 2 All-Pros. I would vote for Suggs. I would vote for Reggie Wayne. It's a difficult call with Reggie Wayne against Torrey Holt, because their numbers are almost identical. They're less than 1,000 yards apart from each other. They both won a Super Bowl. Their touchdowns are within a handful of each other. If you look at just sheer numbers, Holt and Wayne are almost on top of each other. So it's just which one do you like better? I loved Marshall Yanda. 8-time Pro Bowler, all-decade team, Ring of Honor with the Ravens, 7-time All-Pro guy, first or second team, Super Bowl. I would vote for him absolutely.
Getting back to 0 All-Pros.
No, he was not going to be an All-Pro with the guys that.
I mean, you just put every quarterback in.
But how many quarterbacks with 2 Super Bowl victories?
No, I'll tell you that. That's as good as anybody.
And he
it's
played
those
pretty
runs.
well in those.
He won a lot of. Well, the defense won the Super Bowls, but the path along the way, he was really good, including a lot of road victories, because multiple road playoff wins. No, that 2. No, I don't know anybody else has that in 2 years, a Super Bowl winning run where they had that. He's got the most, and that's hard to do when you got to go on the road as the underdog and win in the playoffs. I get that, but 4 Pro Bowls.
Kuechly is a guy you should vote for. Let me give you his.
Kuechly's great.
He only played 8 years, but he was an All-Pro 5 times, first team.
Yeah.
And he was in the Pro Bowl 7 times, and in the 8 years he was in the NFL, he led the league in tackles, takeaways, interceptions, and passes defensed. That is a Hall of Fame career,
without a doubt,
by anybody's estimation.
And that's what I want. I want great. I'd appreciate great shorter runs. Give me the Sandy Koufax over the Joe Necros.
Then how do you feel about Frank Gore?
Oh, he's just the opposite, but I kind of like him personally. I think
it's a hard thing to try to rate, because I never thought of Frank Gore as one of the best 2 or 3 backs in the NFL. Not a single year that he played. But the guy played forever at a position.
There was a couple there. He was really close. If you don't, I don't know about that. He was pretty. Forget the latter part of his years where he was serviceable, but just compiling. At that point. I mean, the backs we know about that's the position where it's the shortest lifespan of any position. But
one second team All-Pro.
Yeah, well, that's one more than Manning.
Well, I get five Pro Bowls.
One more than Stafford before this season.
In Gore's case, he's run for more yards than anybody but Smith and Peyton, and he was on the All-Decade team.
Charlie,
those All-Decade teams are
when they talk about this, not making first or second All-Pro, I'm repeating what one of the voters has talked about reporting that's being discussed in there.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and and this particular voter said, I'm warming up to Stafford. Well, Stafford's having the best best year of his career.
Yeah.
Even last night included. The best year of his career. He led the league in interceptions the Super Bowl year. I mean, he played in only one playoff game at Detroit. You know what I mean? So what big games is he winning or whatever? So and he's played at a high level minus last night. He had a beautiful dime for 50 yards called back for holding too. So,
And he missed a guy that was wide open on a game-winning drive. He
did. He did. He did. Yes.
It's also important to remember, I think there's 44 guys in the room that vote for this. It's not a huge voting panel that does this. It's a very short list.
Guys want to, but
what I'm saying is if you flip 2 or 3 guys, that might be the difference.
And we look at it, we're not talking about just play as an alternate in a Pro Bowl, but these are tangible things, and that's why it's important that, man, we're talking about it's great if he wasn't one of the top 2 at his position at any point of his career. Is that great? That's all very good. No, great. I mean, it's just quarterbacks get paid more quarterbacks get identified now. Quarterbacks are going to haul more. It's just part of what it is. And so, but only 2 can make that first team All-Pro. I mean, first and second team All-Pro. Yeah. And that's important, and that is being discussed. Man, he's going to get in, okay? But there is not without some resistance because of that.
Let's go old timers. Thumbs up, thumbs down, because the Veterans Committee, the Seniors Committee will put in between 1 and 3. Bill Belichick is up this time. Okay, if he doesn't go in, I don't understand why. 3 players. Kenny Anderson of the Bengals.
Hall of very good, not great, not.
Roger Craig.
Oh gosh, yes, yeah. Yeah.
L.C. Greenwood. I was a big fan. fan.
I mean, they dominated, and it was that front 4 that dominated.
It
was a big part of it.
And you had Joe Green is in the Hall of Fame. Lambert's in the Hall of Fame. Ham is in the Hall of Fame. Blunt is in the Hall of Fame. Donnie Shell's in the Hall of Fame. That's 5 off of the steel curtain.
Yeah, but only 1 off the front 4. And if you get that front 4 deserves to have more than 1 in there.
Yeah.
And if only Joe Green's there, Greenwood's got to get in there.
Dwight White did not get in. I would vote for L.C. Greenwood as well. All right, second class. We talked about the Saints' schedule yesterday. Here's how it breaks down the difference between third and fourth place for the Saints. Next year they play the AFC North and the NFC North. Okay, so your third place versus fourth place games is 3 games that are affected. If you finish third, you will play the Commanders, the Chiefs, and either the Rams or the 49ers. If you finish fourth, you will play the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Raiders.
Give me that.
That's a big difference. And if they end up tied,
the divisions are already.
Yeah.
Okay. They're aligned with. Okay.
AFC North and NFC North.
And so, and the other 3. That's
the other 3.
Yeah, that's and as tricky as it can be with the schedules from year to year, and even when they're about to tee it up for the first time, after we get to see the draft and get to see preseason, it's still tricky. But my money's on yes. Give me the fourth place guy. So you're telling them to tank?
I didn't say that. They could right now if they had the same record. The Saints have a slight edge. It's your strength of schedule for your opponents. The Saints' winning percentage is .493, and the Falcons is .496.
Can we get off to a good start? Saints are 2-14 and 0-14-2 in the first quarter spread this year.
Yeah, they've gotten notoriously slow starts. No class. I had you want to talk about a smorgasbord of picks this week. Any of the guys that have been playing professional basketball that are now coming into college basketball eligible. Okay, I don't have time to play John Calipari's 7-minute rant last night, but it was great. Regardless of what you think of Calipari, it was fantastic. Izzo's was good. Matt Painter at Purdue, his was good. Scott Drew basically looked and said, hey, look, I'm just playing by the rules. I'm going to take a guy. But if you've played professional anything, and apparently this is happening in hockey too, the NCAA just closed down the doors. But I found one I liked even better, Jimmy. We're transfer portal opens on Friday. So guys are going to take some visits. Guys are going to, explore their options, right? You should. Oklahoma State has an offensive lineman named Grant Segrin, okay? He's from Oklahoma State now, okay? He has scheduled his visits. You ready for this? This is where Grant Segrin is going to visit. He's going to Auburn. He's going to Arkansas. He's going to Northwestern. And he's going to Oklahoma State. Let me say that again. Oklahoma State transfer portal offensive tackle Grant Segrin is going to visit the school he has been playing at. Can you possibly have –
I like that.
Can you possibly want to get your ass kissed anymore?
No.
I'm sorry.
Sign me up for that. No. You call me no class all you want. I'm going on that tour. Where do I sign up?
I mean, this is like having an open house and, hey, you know what? I'll go to my own house. Come on, man. You gotta schedule an official visit
since we're talking about
you've been playing.
Since we're talking about the Mannings. It's my favorite Cooper Manning quote ever.
What's that?
They're on like the green and South Bend or something. The guy's asking, yeah, it's just nice and everything. Yeah, well, it's pro good. Touchdown, Jesus, all this. Where do they? And Peyton goes, well, we think about going to Miami. Cooper goes, we're going to Miami.
Oh, yeah.
On our official visit. Oh, we're going to Miami. Oh, yes, sir.
I mean, we've covered recruiting for a long time. I've seen guys go on vacation to exotic locales and just to go to have a nice trip. This guy's going on a visit to the school that he's at. Yes. I think I can put you in no class at this time because I don't think you got to tour the facilities. I don't think you got to go look to see what the living quarters are like. No, just when you think you haven't seen it all. First class, second class, no class, brought to you by Supreme Rice.
Wait, hold up, Supreme Rice.
What you got?
I believe you mentioned you put a college, a non-conference schedule in no class.
Yeah.
What schedule was that?
LSU. The home schedule, the home non-conference home schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
The women's is worse.
It is. It is.
The men played 2 quad 1/quad 2 games. The women played 1. We all like Kim Mulkey. She's got a Hall of Fame career. I remember watching her at Louisiana Tech and in the Olympics, okay? But this is a joke. They have won their non-conference games by 53, 38, 58, 89, 30,
by an average of over
63,
50, right?
60, 77, 64, 26, 58, 65, 68. Coach, you are on your way to the Hall of Fame. But what in life, if it's, I don't know, if you're swimming laps, if you're in school, I mean, you're going to give Einstein, second grade math and think you're getting something out of it? I mean, don't you have to challenge yourself to get better? How can you get better by playing zero resistance? I just, you know what, Charlie? She's great, but she could be greater if she's scheduled better. Hey, give your fans something. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is do you see these games? I mean, hey, Boosie was at the game. He's the highlight. Well, that's great. I mean, how about the damn game? It's basketball. It's not football where you get beat up.
Here's the difference. There's not a hell of a lot of difference between her non-conference schedule this year and the last 2 years. The last 3 years, she's won the national title and been to the Elite Eight twice. And I can't tell you that the reason that they lost in the Elite Eight is because they didn't play a couple more non-conference games in November and December that would have toughened them up. When you got 4 rings and you're producing at this level, you get a pass. But on paper, yes, I get it.
Give me a worse schedule than this.
No, it was awful.
Give me a worse schedule than this.
It was awful. But that's what she thinks she needs to prepare her team, and she's backed it up. Okay.
No. I guess what? I think she's wrong.
Well, okay. Yeah.
But the results, okay, she's good. But no, maybe she would have.
I mean, I'm not wild about Jay Johnson's non-conference schedule either. And it's like, you know what? He's won 2 out of 3 national championships. Schedule who you want. Because that's what they think they need.
When you have such an advantage and you don't, okay, but still that's getting cuts. And this is, I mean, how many blowouts do you, What in this 58-point win, and then 5 games later when you win it all by 60, how much more are you finding out about your team?
I would like to ask, and we've asked her before, what your schedule, and she says, I want to know what I got before I get.
Wait. This is the same person. The same person who was aggravated because everybody's worried about who the next LSU coach is going to be. Where y'all not following Lane Kiffin around? Well, give me a reason more to go to the games.
And also buy your season tickets, right? Don't buy them when we're good. Buy them now. And the schedule is not competitive. I'll give you that. But you can't argue with her results. You know.
Yes, I can.
Well,
yes, I can.
I don't know how much better you can do than this.
I don't see any – man, I've been in sports a long time, bro. You're not getting better if you're not challenged. You're not getting better.
She figures she's challenged enough in a non-conference, and she's made it to the Elite Eight and the national championship.
Because it's so much better. Because,
well, that's how she built them to be better. That's how she picked to do it. It's not how I would pick to do it. I don't coach.
What?
If you have the results to back it up. If you do like what Johnny
Jones
did
and your schedule allows
his schedule.
It's because bulky she gets a pass.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. I'll shut up. Then that's it.
Because you got 4 rings.
That's it.
Yes,
that's a joke.
You get a pass.
That's a joke.
You get a pass.
You get a pass. Oh, yeah. You get a pass.
You get a pass.
Maybe she win more. Maybe she wins. You don't know.
If she thought she was
maybe
to
win more.
I'm going to trust a coach with multiple rings.
She gets a pass.
Yep, she does.
It's a joke. You criticize a tougher schedule.
Because they don't ever make the tournament on the men's side. Okay? I mean, they're not even close.
No. What was the source of your venom? Give the season ticket holders.
Give them something to go watch.
The season ticket holders something here?
I wish they would schedule a little bit tougher.
It's a double standard, Charlie.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is. Absolutely. Yeah. When you win 4 national titles, you get the benefit of the doubt. Supreme Rice at SupremeRice.com down in Southwest Louisiana since the 1930s. All of our Supreme Rice grown, milled, and processed here in Southwest Louisiana. Brown, medium grain, the long grain, the parboiled, the low glycemic rice for diabetics. Perfect here for the holiday season. You cooking for New Year's? You inviting me over?
No.
Okay. Kim Mulkey and I will just have lunch by ourselves. Make it up at all of your AG food stores, your Walmart, your Rouse's, anywhere you buy rice. You make it Supreme Rice. Get more for your food dollar. Part of the Climate Smart program, talking about reducing methane emissions and promoting water conservation. Supreme Rice. For more information, great recipes, go to SupremeRice.com. Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Nanny from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by the Thibodeau store, the Pierre Part store, now in LaRose and Lockport. Right now, some of these post-Christmas specials on the website right now, up to 55% off of all Milwaukee tools, 20% off of all your storage supplies, 25% off of all of your winter car care. You know, you can go to the website to get to any of the 4 properties in the Thibodeau store chain, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau and Highway 70 in Pierre Part for the Pierre Part store. Tons of things that maybe you're not thinking about right now at special discounts, including outdoor cooking and patio furniture, storage and organization, outdoor power equipment, cordless power tools, and those unique items, the Cypress furniture down at the Thibodeau store, all of your crawfish pots, your jambalaya pots, your big green egg cookers, fishing gear if you're heading down to the coast to do a little fishing. Make sure you stop by the Thibodeau store. Same day pickup if you're ordering off the website, and delivery available on a lot of these items, including lumber, out of the Pierre Part store. Open till 5:30. Again, online, it's thethibodeaustore.com. Second game today, we told you the Louisiana Tech playing the Independence Bowl that goes here in about a half an hour. La Tech and Coastal Carolina. Tech's a 10-point favorite.
Yeah, it started out a little lower, but, you know, it's kind of been a trend that the teams that are playing in these bowl games that fired their coach, they're struggling. So it's the coach who's the interim coach for Coastal Carolina is going to Manhattan to coach Kansas State. Sonny Cumbie, his staff is intact with Louisiana Tech, so that's why they got some support and drove it up to 10.
Few more fannies in the seats. It's pretty easy Easy drive from Ruston to Shreveport, right?
It's right there. But if it's cold here, Charlie, you don't think it's cold up in Shreveport today?
47 degrees at kickoff, so not
terrible.
No,
but
and the sun's out. So.
Yes. At least the sun is out. But
second game's a little bit more interesting with Tennessee and Illinois. You actually got an opinion, a stronger opinion on this game.
Both teams are a little bit levels of disappointment. Tennessee coming off of a playoff appearance season, of course. But what happened with the quarterback situation was, who knew how that was going to play out? And Aguilar, I don't think it was a dip as far as level of play and what was projected of what we saw Nico last year. I think that was it wasn't so much, but it was a disruption in the offseason. You're limited with your offseason. I thought that Aguilar threw the ball better than what Nico did and allowed them to run their offense that he wants to run while still having a dual threat element. He's not the runner Nico is, but he's pretty good. And so he gives you that true dual threat instead of a running-oriented guy. But the Georgia loss was brutal. I mean, that was a brutal one, and that kind of shaped it. In Illinois is on their way. They went down to Durham and got that win against Duke, okay? And it was set. And not that they were expected to win the game in Bloomington. We still didn't know. But, Charlie, it was like 49-0 at half. It was whatever. it just kind of did some psychological damage to them, man. But Illinois, both quarterbacks will play. Altmaier will play. Interestingly enough, when Nico got booted from Knoxville, they approached Altmaier in Champaign, and he stayed. It's his third year. Of course, he's the Ole Miss. It's Ole Miss or Mississippi State? I think it's Ole Miss transfer. That he stayed for his third year.
It was Ole Miss, yeah.
This is also so they had a 10-win season last year. They've had 8 wins this year. Could be the most wins ever for an Illinois team back-to-back in a 2-year span.
Really?
So, yes. Now, they have some opt-outs, and so does Tennessee, mostly on the defensive side, but they have a few more of their regular players. The line was bigger at one point. It went under 3. Now it's settled back at 3. I think the teams that play the SEC teams always have a little extra juice. And I think Illinois, we're having a lot of pieces in place. I like having these, that senior that sticks around, usually has a good bowl game. I think that's Altmaier, and I think that's Illinois in this spot.
With the number of opt-outs.
Which will overcome sort of the home crowd advantage being in Nashville.
Bowl unders were 18 and 10 going into yesterday.
Yeah.
And then yesterday,
with all the opt-outs.
We only had one yesterday that went under. So 19 and 10 now, the update. This might be the exception, Jimmy. I might go the other way here.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you because most of the opt-outs are on the defensive side. You have the key pieces, including the quarterbacks on the offensive side. But a lot of these games have been, way unders. What was the Clemson-Penn State game? They could have played that for 17 quarters and still going under. It's almost, those preseason totals that we see because you don't really have a lot of high-level execution and chemistry. So what's in a regular season 48 is like 36 or 38. You're seeing a lot of that same effect, real sketchy, clunky type of offensive performances with so many opt-outs.
Healthy total of 62.5. Will be chilly in Nashville, 35 degrees at kickoff. That's at 4:30 this afternoon. And then tonight, USC and TCU. This is at the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio. Trojans, about a 5.5-point choice here, according to DraftKings, and Lincoln Riley spent a decent amount of his time. It is
what about
little talk yesterday talking about Notre Dame.
What about that? He said we held them to their word that they would play us anywhere, anytime, any place, anywhere, anytime. So maybe playing 2 years in a row at the Coliseum. He didn't divulge that, huh?
No, and I don't think. I think he knew what their intent was, but the crux of this was that USC wanted to, if they were going to play the game, they wanted to play it at the first part of September. Almost everybody in the Big Ten I think, is playing. Once they start playing conference games, they don't play anybody else.
Pretty much.
It used to be a rule in the Big Ten. It's not a rule anymore, but most everybody does that.
The
Trojans want to get to that.
I think maybe UCLA played somebody late, like a Fresno late or something. But no, I don't. It's rare, if at all.
And for USC,
with the current Big Ten,
when they've played the game at Notre Dame, they've played it in late October. When they play the game in Southern California, most of the time it's been the last game of the year. And Notre Dame didn't want to do that. And so they replaced them with somebody who would schedule them when they wanted them to schedule them and who's a lot, well, not this year. BYU had a better record this year, but in general, I think SC's a better program. It reminded me of two political candidates running for office. You don't want to debate. No, you don't want to debate. You're scared. No, you're scared. You know, it's basically filibustering at the podium yesterday.
Maeva's top target, Makai Lemon, he's opted out. It's had 1,160 yards and 13 TDs.
First round pick.
Yeah. So they're in the tight end is out for USC as well. But Maeva's going to start, huh? He's going to play.
As far as I know.
Yeah. So
sometimes the
TCU lost their quarterback.
Yeah, he's in the portal.
Yeah, he's in the portal now. But he's in the portal. He's not going to play, right?
That is what I understand. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because some have entered the portal and still played in bowl games, which is a little tricky. But no, my brother-in-law was telling me that he'll probably get a nice offer. I mean,
Hoover will be one of the top 6 or 8 quarterbacks in the portal, numbers wise.
Yeah. So anyway, what's it going off at? 5.5. 5.5. Maybe TCU, a little home cooking right there. Where are they playing?
Alamo Dome.
Oh, we want USC outside. Kiffin coming out. Kiffin coming out with those sunglasses and that hoodie on. So anyway, don't forget our friends over at Relief Windows, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows, and like mine did, you got to go to Relief Windows. Nobody else. It's real simple. Relief Windows, again, they're built to last because that's the biggest thing, man. My other windows did not last at all. I mean, the extreme South Louisiana weather conditions, the heat, the rain, the mold, the algae, the freezing cold, the snow last year, the rain. It'll just eat them up. But not with the gel windows from Relief Windows. They're built to last. They look good. They're functional. And just first-class operation. I mean, when you call them up initially to schedule a consultation, they'll come out, check out your situation, and do a computer rendering right there on site, kind of alter it to your liking, and we'll move on from there. Order your stuff. When it comes in, we'll schedule the installment, and man, when they schedule it, it is within the minutes of when they tell you that they're going to show up. And they're very polite, very professional, and don't make a big old mess as well. Do like I did if you're in the market for wood windows, call Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch. Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We're also brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. Look again if you think you can't find affordable insurance on those coastal properties where maybe your duck camps or your deer camps or your fishing camps are. And take a look at that flood insurance from the Morris Insurance Group. Be able to get you a price that maybe a little bit better than what you thought. Your big boy toys, your boats and trailers, your motorcycles, your RVs, tractors. Get the insurance at the Morris Insurance Group. Also, auto, homeowners, and commercial insurance. Talk to Buzzy Hydell, 201-0007, 221-0007, or you can go online for a free quote, morris-ig.com, morris-ig.com for those hard-to-insure properties and items. Go to the Morris Insurance Group.
Charlie guy at the bar was asking me, give me a pick, man, to make a little bet on the suit who wins
Glad
the
to see
Super
you
Bowl.
work in the room during the breaks.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm a man of the people.
Yeah.
So That's why I'm trying to get some more people into the stands for the women's games. Let's get a better schedule.
Right.
I'm just trying to look out for the best interest of everybody. But anyway, I saw the Eagles still have that with the backbone of what they. Now it's not Saquon because Saquon was a big part of it. But that defensive front, I saw some tough yards for Buffalo. And we know Allen is Superman, and it forced him to do some things that just were counterproductive, to say the least. But anyway, and it was some tough conditions, too. But I've seen them a few times do that, so I think they have the best. But I don't know. The path is clear for Allen. You got no Mahomes, no Burrow, they're responsible for knocking them out when they do get knocked out. But I don't like their team. I just don't think they're quite as good. But the end, you got the number 1 seed, Denver. Look, the Chargers are sitting everybody. Denver's going to be the number 1 seed. I mean, Denver's defense is fading a little bit, and Knicks. I'm sorry, they're easily beatable over there. I mean, San Francisco. This is not one of the better San Francisco teams. They got the home field advantage, but I mean, Darnold. I mean, he's in the same spot. Remember last year, this was it. It was either the 1 seed or the 5 seed, for Darnold, and on a road game within the division. I mean, is he going to perform better? Just a lot of. I mean, it's so wide open in Baltimore. If they get in, I like them. I mean, I think it hit them over the head when you play the backup quarterback. Let's lean on this guy when it's cold, and I think they're going to go into Pittsburgh and take care of business there. But I mean, if they get in, but they might not get in. I can't go on this Cohen T-Law maiden voyage. They've come so far. Stroud looks. He's terrible sometimes, Charlie, with Houston, but their defense is wide open, man. It's tough.
It's more wide. I think it's wide open. There are at least 3 teams, if not 4, in the NFC that I like better than anybody in the AFC. If Denver's the number 1 seed, I would take Seattle over them. I would take Philadelphia over them. I would take San Francisco over them. And I would still, I think, take the Rams over them despite what has happened the last 2 weeks to Los Angeles. That's 4 teams, I think, in the NFC that I can see a legitimate – they could get to the Super Bowl and win it. In the AFC, I'm not in love with anybody. I think Denver is good. They can be had. Same thing with the Patriots. Same thing with the Jaguars. Either team that wins the North, the Steelers or the Ravens. I like the Texans. If for no other reason, it's been a long time since they lost. They're on a roll. That defense is legit. The defense will keep them in every game. And I keep coming back to the fact that C.J. Stroud has played in 4 playoff games in his first 2 years, and he's won 2 of them. And that's an awful lot of experience for a third-year quarterback. I'm thinking that maybe that translates, but I don't love him. I have a hard time coming up with somebody I really love in the AFC.
Well, they're going to be in the road probably every game too.
Yeah,
which I mean, it's hard. The defense is going to keep them in every game, but you staked out to the 14-0 lead, and man, he starts keeping the Chargers in the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a bad. And one of the things, and here's where the advanced stats come into play a little bit. He has had some turnover-worthy plays that. There were a lot of dropped interceptions, basically, mm-hmm. that now they're not dropping. But, I mean, situationally, come on, man. I mean, just be safe now with that lead. The Chargers ain't driving the field on you. I mean, they're just odd, but boy, that defense is fun to watch. They are fun to watch.
Like, again, they played against the Raiders, who are terrible, and it's Stingley's interception return for a touchdown that ends up being the difference in the game. They played terrible. They played terrible. They won, but they played terrible.
Oh no! That's probably their worst game of the season. I mean, for
certainly of the win streak, it is.
You get if Stingley doesn't get the pick 6, you probably lose. And then they had a bad call at the end that. A very shaky call that basically ran the clock out instead of giving the Raiders. You see them trying to tackle Genti. He had 2 long plays that's the only guy you got to, with Bowers out, that's the only guy you got to cover. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. So I didn't.
What kind of number you get on the Eagles?
You know what, the Rams, I still want to, don't you want to?
I can't count them out. If I'm the Eagles or the Bears, I don't want to see
Seahawks plus 475, Rams plus 550. Which who?
You said the Eagles.
Eagles 10-1.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the play, huh?
Yeah.
That's the play.
Yeah.
Hurts 3 times this year, Charlie. Less than 5 yards passing and a half. 3 games.
They can do better than that.
Yes, and they're still winning.
I mean, for all of their soap opera stuff, it's still A.J. Brown. It's still Devontae Smith. It's still Jalen Hurts. It's still
that front seven.
Saquon Barkley and that defense.
No, the defense.
So, yeah.
They had 11 yards the second half in Buffalo Sunday.
It was cold. I don't have a good answer for 11 yards and a half.
3 times. And been cold all year. Less than 5 yards passing and a half.
Don't they have the biggest offensive payroll in the NFL?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Tomorrow we're at Roca Pizzeria. I want to thank our friends over here at Mike Anderson's. Again, you got family in town for the holidays. Man, they would really love to come over here and get some of the great. The Cajun plate's a great little sampler plate with a little etouffee, a little seafood gumbo, which is outstanding, fried fish fillet, shrimp, a little hush puppy, a little salad, potato salad. I mean, really good stuff. So a way to sample. And, of course, the char-grilled oysters are a must over here. So we're closed for dinner tomorrow night. Open for lunch New Year's Eve, and that's it for this week. So regular schedule on New Year's Day on Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, and then 5 to 9 for dinner.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We're also brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. Look again if you think you can't find affordable insurance on those coastal properties where maybe your duck camps or your deer camps or your fishing camps are. And take a look at that flood insurance from the Morris Insurance Group. Be able to get you a price that maybe a little bit better than what you thought. Your big boy toys, your boats and trailers, your motorcycles, your RVs, tractors. Get the insurance at the Morris Insurance Group. Also, auto, homeowners, and commercial insurance. Talk to Buzzy Hydell, 201-0007, 221-0007, or you can go online for a free quote, morris-ig.com, morris-ig.com for those hard-to-insure properties and items. Go to the Morris Insurance Group.
Charlie, guy at the bar was asking me, hey, give me a pick, man, to make a little bet on the suit who wins
Glad
the
to see you
Super Bowl.
work in the room during the breaks.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm a man of the people.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying to get some more people to the stands for the women's games. You know, get a better schedule.
Right.
I'm just trying to look out for the best interests of everybody. But anyway, I saw the Eagles still have that with the backbone of what they. Now it's not Saquon because Saquon was a big part of it. But that defensive front, I saw some tough yards for Buffalo. And we know Allen is Superman, and it forced him to do some things that just were counterproductive, to say the least. But anyway, and it was some tough conditions, too. But I've seen them a few times do that, so I think they have the best. But I don't know. The path is clear for Allen. You got no Mahomes, no Burrow, they're responsible for knocking them out when they do get knocked out. But I don't like their team. I just don't think they're quite as good. But the end, you got the number 1 seed, Denver. Look, the Chargers are sitting everybody. Denver's going to be the number 1 seed. I mean, Denver's defense is fading a little bit, and Knicks. I'm sorry, they're easily beatable over there. I mean, San Francisco. This is not one of the better San Francisco teams. They got the home field advantage, but I mean, Darnold. I mean, he's in the same spot. Remember last year, this was it. It was either the 1 seed or the 5 seed, for Darnold, and in on a road game within the division. I mean, is he going to perform better? Just a lot of. I mean, it's so wide open in Baltimore. If they get in, I like them. I mean, I think it hit them over the head when you play the backup quarterback. Let's lean on this guy when it's cold, and I think they're going to go into Pittsburgh and take care of business there. But I mean, if they get in, but they might not get in. I can't I can't go on this Cohen T-Law maiden voyage. You know, they've come so far. Stroud looks it's terrible sometimes, Charlie, with Houston, but their defense is wide open, man. It's tough.
It's more wide. I think it's wide open. There are at least 3 teams, if not 4, in the NFC that I like better than anybody in the AFC. If Denver's the number 1 seed, I would take Seattle over them. I would take Philadelphia over them. I would take San Francisco over them. And I would still, I think, take the Rams over them despite what has happened the last 2 weeks to Los Angeles. That's 4 teams, I think, in the NFC that I can see a legitimate – they could get to the Super Bowl and win it. In the AFC, I'm not in love with anybody. I think Denver is good. They can be had. Same thing with the Patriots. Same thing with the Jaguars. Either team that wins the North, the Steelers or the Ravens. I like the Texans. If for no other reason, it's been a long time since they lost. They're on a roll. That defense is legit. The defense will keep them in every game. And I keep coming back to the fact that C.J. Stroud has played in 4 playoff games in his first 2 years, and he's won 2 of them. And that's an awful lot of experience for a third-year quarterback. I'm thinking that maybe that translates, but I don't love him. I have a hard time coming up with somebody I really love in the AFC.
Well, they're going to be in the road probably every game too.
Yeah,
which I mean, it's hard. The defense is going to keep them in every game, but you know, you staked out to the 14-0 lead, and man, he starts keeping the Chargers in the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a bad. And one of the things, and here's where the advanced stats come into play a little bit. He has had some turnover-worthy plays that. There were a lot of dropped interceptions, basically, mm-hmm. that now they're not dropping. But, I mean, situationally, come on, man. I mean, just be safe now with that lead. The Chargers ain't driving the field on you. I mean, they're just odd, but boy, that defense is fun to watch. They are fun to watch.
Like, again, they played against the Raiders, who are terrible, and it's Stingley's interception return for a touchdown. That ends up being the difference in the game. They played terrible. They played terrible. They won, but they played terrible.
Oh no! That's probably their worst game of the season. I mean, for
certainly of the win streak, it is.
You get if Stingley doesn't get the pick 6, you probably lose. And then they had a bad call at the end that. A very shaky call that basically ran the clock out instead of giving the Raiders. You see them trying to tackle Genty. He had 2 long plays when, I mean, that's the only guy you got to, with Bowers out, that's the only guy you got to cover. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. So I didn't.
What kind of number you get on the Eagles?
You know what, the Rams, I still want to, don't you want to.
I can't count them out. If I'm the Eagles or the Bears, I don't want to see
Seahawks plus 475, Rams plus 550. Which who
you said the Eagles?
Eagles 10-1.
Okay,
yeah, that's the play, huh? Yeah. That's the play. Yeah. Hurts 3 times this year, Charlie. Less than 5 yards passing and a half. 3 games.
They can do better than that.
Yes, and they're still winning.
I mean, for all of their soap opera stuff, it's still A.J. Brown. It's still Devontae Smith. It's still Jalen Hurts. It's still
that front 7.
Saquon Barkley and that defense.
No, the defense.
So, yeah.
They had 11 yards the second half in Buffalo Sunday.
It was cold. I don't have a good answer for 11 yards and a half.
3 times. Hadn't been cold all year. Less than 5 yards passing and a half.
Don't they have the biggest offensive payroll in the NFL?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Tomorrow we're at Roca Pizzeria. I want to thank our friends over here at Mike Anderson's. Again, you got family in town for the holidays. Man, they would really love to come over here and get some of the great. The Cajun plate's a great little sampler plate with a little etouffee, a little seafood gumbo, which is outstanding, fried fish fillet, shrimp, a little hush puppy, a little salad, potato salad, really good stuff. So a way to sample. And, of course, the char-grilled oysters are a must over here. So we're closed for dinner tomorrow night. Open for lunch New Year's Eve, and that's it for this week. So regular schedule on New Year's Day on Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, and then 5 to 9 for dinner.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.